All right, you Curd nerds, we're here with Whip Air, and we even got Dirtbag. Dirtbag came to join us, but as y'all know, we normally fly the Lake 200, right? It's a wonderful seaplane. We absolutely love it. Put a lot of work into it. Don't pay attention to the oil leaks. But today, we're upgrading for just a couple hours to something a little bigger.
Biggest thing you want on a float plane is make sure everything is square and straight and there's been no damage to it, because they get a lot of stress and a lot of pounding on the water. So when we first come up to them, starting on the front left float, looking at the gear, making sure everything's tight, make sure our wheels are good, lubed. We can see we got grease coming out of them. Our lug nuts are tight. And immediately I go right to my structure. So we have two on big cross struts on this. And what we want to take a look at is we got big bolts here, and we're looking for any dimpling around the metal. We're looking for any kind of, and you can see it's into the doubler here where the structure is, and we're looking for anything there. The other is there's flying wires on this, and you can see them here, and then you can see the X in the back. And what that gives you is a look at the geometry of the floats. Make sure that if we were to catch a float and bend something, the X would obviously be out. So we'll take a look at those, and we'll make sure those are tight and tight. Lots of cotter keys. Taking a look at the struts and the steps. We have a forward strut here mounted up to the firewall. We want to make sure we don't have any dimpling and pushing on the firewall there. We can take a look at that. Obviously, everything tight. On everything else, I've already pre-flighted this once today, so we're kind of reviewing it. This is our Hartzell Yukon prop. One of the things I want to kind of tell you about this Yukon prop that's so unique, carbon fiber and composite. You can take a look at it, and we're very taut, but it also has a large nickel leading edge, and I'm going to ask you to come up and just run your fingers along here. And if you're a float plane guy, you know that water is erosion, and this thing gets pounded, and this thing is absolutely like glass. Oh, yeah. It is. This is so nice. So I pound the heck out of this airplane doing demos and testing and all kinds of stuff, and this thing is just constantly getting beaten on, and there is just no wear or tear on these blades at all. So this Yukon prop is amazing. Like I said in the pre-brief, 15 to 20% improvement on water runs, really good climb rates. I really love that prop. It was the last missing link, as I said, on the Caravan. Continuing along, same thing, float. We're gonna check and look, make sure our hull is tight, make sure we haven't hit any logs, take a look underneath. I'll get to the business end of it here real quick. Lots of pulling and prodding on a float plane, make sure everything's tight. You get a little bit of a click there. That's not load bearing, that's more of a fairing than it is anything else. Take a look in our float hatches. You can see in here, these are tough because they're sealed, but we're gonna go ahead and take a sniff and make sure we don't have old water in them. I pumped them out this morning, so they're clear already. You can take a look here. These are wires. There's two sets going up front. And we have, basically what we have is magnets. As this front nose gear comes up or down, up, it goes on a rail system, and there's a magnet to sense when it's down and a magnet to sense when it's up. So it takes a look at that. Those are those wires that you're looking at there. We'll make sure we get these tightened up. We're locked here, good here. Fairing is good here. This would be where our main landing gear is, so there's a lot of, that's our main hookup for these floats where we get it and we stabilize it on the front and get that. Fairing looks good, nothing deforming. We have a visual here. We have a green gear down and a blue gear up. Good thing to brief your passengers on this before we leave. The folks will look outside and I'll ask the question. Gears down for landing. I've got nothing on the nose, in which I can see my nose lug, and then I'll ask if you got a green. I'll say I got a green on my side, and usually the passenger will look out and say I've got a green on my side. And so wheels are down for landing. Main tires, this one has dualies. And with the trucks, these are constantly getting greased and lubed. As you can tell, they sit in the water. So basically what you have is just an open box that this goes, and the wheel kind of hides behind that step right there. So there isn't a gear door that seals on it. It's more or less, it just goes up and hides the hole. So when you're sitting in the water, the whole gear well is wet. So you can see it when we're flying, you can see the gear. Gear doesn't move very far, but we're looking to make sure it's lubed. We got a good cotter key, we got good air. And then as we come to the back, wiggling everything. Water rudders. Make sure some idiot hasn't bent them. I've done that before. Everything's tight. Here's our water rudder here. And what you'll see is if I move that water rudder, you can see the tail move. So they're hooked into the rudder pedals. Make sure we don't have a lot of play there. A couple of springs here, which are our tensioners for when we put it up or down. Make sure those springs are in good shape. There's our cable that is hooked to our handle inside. Here's our throughput and for the mount, and then we got a hinge on the top and the bottom. And again, same thing looking here, except for now we got to look at our brakes and tires, and we've got a good look at our brakes and tires. Make sure our brakes and tires are all good. I like to walk up, take a look back here. Everything's tight. Everything's tight, tight, tight. Looking for any damage to the structure. You can see there's not a lot of clearance between a lot of the stuff. There's a doubler here. Make sure nothing's rubbing. Tight, tight. So you can see on these floats, and here's a good spot to take a look at it while we're in the shade. These are all bulkheads. So if you look at these things, they're a bunch of vertical shells. So this is a float. These are each a compartment, and each of these is watertight. So each of these has its own pump out. So this pump out has a hose that runs down into this bottom of this float, and it pumps out this compartment here. This pump out hole right here where we pump out goes in this compartment. So if you were to get a leak, theoretically, it would contain into this one area. So you wouldn't flood the whole float, you'd flood compartment, compartment, compartment in each one of those as you tear them. But as you can see, each one of them has a pump out. And then also on our floats, on these, we can actually just spin these out. These are usually on most airplanes, like on mine. It's kind of nice, but you can actually look in there and you can actually see inside. And you can tell that compartment's in there. You can see we've got a cable, we've got a sheath on the cable, and you can kind of take a look inside there. We don't usually do that on the pre-flight. It's when we see hydraulic fluid dripping out anywhere. We can look for hydraulic leaks for the brakes or for the gears actuators. All right. The reason I don't take them off is because they're hard to put back on. Working our way around again, just repeat the same thing, kind of the same here. Make sure our water rudder's straight. These get a lot of stress, as you'll see when we take off, because we leave the water rudders down for the initial takeoff run on this airplane. And then just like a normal airplane, we're looking at all our control surfaces, cotter keys, everything else, just like a normal airplane. But that's kind of the difference between a float plane. Obviously, this one has fins on it, and the reason we put the fins as part of it is we get more longitude up front on the arm up front from the floats, so we need more arm on the back. So there isn't enough vertical stab, so we have to add the float fins, we call them.
Okay.
And so that's why they're on there, is longitudinal stability of the aircraft. If you add the flaps on the front, there's not enough horizontal stab to hold it and keep it from yawing and controlling it. Line here, yuck. But this is an aftermarket modification. As you can tell, it's a float plane, and where are the fuel tanks? To fill it, they're up on top.
Yeah.
So you need a big old ladder and lots of patience and lots of daring to go fuel this thing. So what we did is we developed what's called single point refueling, much like a jet. It's a pressure system, and it has a series of valves. We control it from the cockpit. We type in how much fuel we want, just like a jet, and they hook to it, and very simply hit it with center point, and boom, boom, puts 600 one side, 600 the other, and then it shuts off. So it's a really nice system. Last one I'll show you is out here is our L-gas system. And those little sensors right there are our two little downward looking L-gas sensors. That's landing gear advisory system. And what they look for is they look for water or land. And as they do their check as we're coming down, we will, in different configurations as we're slowing down, the system will take a look at it. Our old A-gas system was very simple. It was just based on speed. And it would say, you'd slow down and you'd hit a certain speed, and our system would come down, and wherever you had the gear handle, it would repeat it. It would say, gear is up for water landing if the gear handle were up, just as you're coming through that speed. This system does that, but it does it internally. It says gear is up for water landing to itself, and then it verifies that it sees water. The only time it comes on then is when it doesn't have agreement. If it sees land and you've got water, or if it sees water and you've got land, it'll come on and it'll warn you. The other thing that's probably the best feature of this is it has a timer on it. And after takeoff, if you leave the gear down for 30 seconds, the L-gas will come on and say, check gear, check gear, check gear. Most amphibious accidents occur not from putting the gear down in flight or doing something silly and putting it down. It's for forgetting to take it put it up, forgetting to put it up after takeoff, because it's not a lot of drag on a float plane, you already get a lot. Or the second is you put it up and the pump fails immediately. So that you throw it up and bang, the pump kicks off and pops a breaker and the gear's down. That's happened several times too. The L-gas will save you from that. It'll look at it after 30 seconds and say, hey, your gear's down. And that is when you need to catch it. All right, we can mount up.
No idea what's going on.
You don't seem to complain too much in my airplane. Not out loud.
Guy breaks a lake amphibian to the largest float manufacturer in the world and wonders why no one will talk to him.
Floats are just so expensive.
Thing is we bring up till the prop just about is maxed out, and then we don't get the big surge. We don't want to sound like a Cirrus pilot. There we go. Whiskey Fox, returning base to final for 3-4 at Fleming, full stop. Having Warrior 4364812 south. Whiskey Fox, final 3-4 Fleming.
Traffic.
Fleming traffic, Amphib 89 Echo is 6 miles to the east inbound for landing runway 34 Fleming. Fleming traffic, Cessna 3429 Victor base 34. Full stop, Fleming.
Otana traffic, Midstate 77, 9 mile final, BOR 12, departure back to the northwest, Otana.
Now, that was some awesome fun with a Caravan on floats on the land, but what the hell are we doing in a Caravan on floats if we're not going to go put it in the water? I lie, we're going to go put it in the water. We're just waiting on Rob because does he have to poop?
No, he runs like it.
So we're waiting on Rob. He's going to climb in the back. There's Dirtbag back there. Say hi, Dirtbag.
Hey, kids.
Hey, kids. What's up, you curd nerds? All right, let's...
What's up, you curd cadets?
You curd cadets. Let's go put this thing in the water.
100 or so.
Now, there's a couple things that were a little different during this landing. So in a flying boat, which is the only thing I've got any seaplane experience in, you land really flat and you are in the water. Like, the water line for my plane is about thigh level. So the fact that we came in and touched down just this high off the water just seemed kind of nuts to me, that we are still this far away from the water.
And you're a big boat.
Yeah.
Take a look.
Big old tune.
Yeah. And a little bit here, we got some waves. Some idiot made big waves here. This is me. Turn into them a little bit, and then you won't take as much. We might get a little up here on the prop, but this prop takes it so well, I don't even worry about it. My 180, I'd be creaming. Screaming and creaming. All right, Ed, for those boats.
Now here's
So this
Dirtbag. For
airplane,
some
like
reason,
I
the
said, you wanna
cameraman in the
leave
back
yourself
thought
out on
we
the
needed to
left.
get real
So
close and
the river's
see
hard
Dirtbag's
because we
complexion.
don't have an
But
outlet. We just have
what
a river. So it's
the
pretty skinny. So I
instructor,
baby,
the demonstrator, is trying to show me in this
But on
little
this
clip
takeoff
right
I'll
here
do it.
is
And
how
we're at, flaps 2, which is
much
where I landed at.
control you actually get out of the water rudders. Yes, the water rudders, they're great. I love my water rudder in my airplane. But in this thing, since it's
anyhow,
so
we'll,
big, since it has so much
come around the
torque, since
corner.
it has so much
Most
swinging
floatplanes,
mass
you
up
come
there on
water
the
rudders up
nose,
this airplane,
once you bring those
down
water
for the
rudders up,
initial part of the
you
takeoff.
effectively
And I'll
have no
probably leave down
control.
a lot longer
You
than
are
I
just
normally would.
a log
That would-
floating
I'd put
around
the water rudders
in
up,
the
but
water.
It's not that I don't trust you, it's that I don't trust you. So,
Fair.
it's a deploy and then up. And I'm going to let you feel what this thing feels like. It wants to really turn into the wind. It's just a big cub. Watch this thing just...
Yeah. Does not
There's no turn in it at all. And it just, now you're just in a big old object floating on the water.
Yeah.
So it's it's more like a J3 Cub than you think. So Jack Brown teaches you how to drive a Cub. You can feel the water rudders there.
Yeah.
And you can feel the effectiveness of them.
Yeah, those are pretty solid. And I mean,
So we use them for takeoff. We're going to have a left crosswind, which is bad. We're going to have left torque, which is bad. But I'm also going to point the airplane kind of towards the island and let it kind of make a curving takeoff as we take off. And we'll kind of head, once we get it up, we don't have to worry so much about the wind. But initially we'll take off into the wind and then we'll kind of steer it to the long part of the lake and get this thing out. And I see one pontoon there. Power's coming in. You can follow me through if you want.
all right.
Water rudder's going to
You
stay
have
down.
control?
I have it. Starting to add power right now.
And here, as we're starting this takeoff run, the torque in this is insane. We were full right rudder, and it was still kind of difficult to keep this airplane rolling in the direction that you wanted it to go, just because of how much torque was being generated by that 867 horsepower
See how much water?
PT6 up there on the nose.
It wanted to fly. The floats are designed well to push it up out of the water to get you your least drag, even if you're not on the sweet spot.
I'm off. You got the jet.
All right, I play
Okay.
controls.
And we're coming back to about 10 or 15 here. You're at 125.
Now, this
You're at
is
flaps
my
1.
first
Okay.
attempt
Base here, I'm gonna give
ever
you flaps
in
2.
flying
And you're just gonna let that
floats.
nose
Not
start
just
coming
flying a
through.
Caravan
The
on
nose
floats,
start
not
coming
a
through.
PT6,
Shove that nose
blah, blah,
through.
blah,
There you
all
go.
this power,
You
all
see
this
you got
torque.
downward
This
trend
is
on
the
speed
first
right now,
time
even though
I
the
have
nose
ever
comes through, the nose comes
flown
through the land
a
basically where we did
float
before,
plane.
so
It's
do that
all
little
been
bump, that little
flying
intersection
boats
is
for
the
me,
same
so
for
this is
that.
a novel experience, and
Nose coming down.
I want you to tell me what you think about my first float plane landing.
There you go. Now you're flying like a float plane pilot. Let the nose come through. There you go. And if you're speeding up, come out of power. There you go. Now you're going to get into disc. You're a little fast for disc,
Okay.
but just keep that power all the way to idle.
Okay.
Shove the nose over.
Shower.
There you go. Stick shanty the roof back there.
Okay.
There you go. Now
Yeah.
you feel it. Okay, now start your turn to final.
All right.
Roll and turn to final. I got the boats. We're going to land right to the left of that other boat. Or to
Just
the left
to
of the pontoon.
left of
Looking
the
good.
pontoon,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. We're going to come in on the power now. Come in on the power. No, easy. Easy.
Okay,
It's a
yeah.
jet, not a prop. Easy. Feed it. Feed it. There you go. A
Feed
little
it.
more. A little bit more. Now you're at about 100 over the numbers, and we're just going to control our sink rate all the way down. So let's start sinking. Start sinking, looking good. Lining up on the water. Got a boat crossing, but we're good. Okay, come out of the power. Coming out of the power. Out of the power.
Disc.
Nose up. Yep. Let it come up.
Flat.
Let it come up. Let it come up. Let it come up. Okay, just hold it off and just let it settle into the lake right there. Okay. No, don't push. Don't ever push Floatplane. There you go. Now coming in on the power. There you go. Don't push. Don't push. Don't push.
Don't push. All right.
There we go. Just let the nose come up. Okay, give her Billy. There you go. That's about all we're gonna need. You got flaps too, and just roll me a float here. You need lots of right rudder. Get it straight and roll me a float.
Bring it
Boom.
up.
There you go. Roll it, and then fly it right out. There you go. There you go. Very nice.
That is nuts. Let me not commit a felony by hitting this bald
80,
eagle.
90 is when you're alive, so get that nose down to 90. 90 is your living number. Okay, now you're alive. I'll get rid of a notch of flaps for you, and that'll help you accelerate. Climb it out at 90. Looking good. Your torque's good. Power's good. You can make a left turn. We're no hoses down here, so we're good. Just kind of wrap it around. Don't get below 90 and you're gold.
Now, obviously, flying that 208 was an absolute hoot. I absolutely loved it. All I'm saying is that if I hit the lottery, I might not tell y'all, but there will definitely be signs. There will definitely be there'll be a Caravan 208 on floats in my hangar. Probably a better hangar too, but I digress. After all of this fun stuff, they did take us on a factory tour. Now, I did have to be respectful of the employees that were working because it was an active manufacturing facility. So I couldn't be like, hey man, get out of the way. I got to get this cool shot. Hey man, I know you're busy. Go to the break room. Obviously, I'm not going to do anything like that. And I didn't want to invade in their privacy, right? They're at work. They don't want to be on camera. They don't want to be on YouTube. So it was a little difficult to get the cool shots. We couldn't do a whole how it's made series in the factory. But what I can do is post some of the stuff that I did get over on Instagram. So definitely go check out those pictures and the little clips that I did get over on Instagram to show how they have made these amazing hydrodynamic just floats that not only just make it so that these massive aircraft can float on the water, we even took a look at the Fireboss floats that have a scoop on the bottom of the floats that use the forward momentum of the aircraft to suck water up into a hopper that they can use to put out fires all over the world. So definitely go check those things out, and thank you for watching. As always, I really do appreciate all the comments, all the engagement, all the views. So as always, fly safe and keep it cheesy.